Okay, this is my brother's. He just bought it. It's brand new. It's a Squire Strat, and I just wanted to check it out for him and just see how the setup was. We were playing it the other night, and it seemed like it was slow with the frets. It seemed to when you tried to slide a bar chord, the frets just seemed to really drag, like there was quite a bit of friction on the frets. So I want to give it a decent fret polish. I think that might solve that problem. And I also just kind of checked out the guitar as far as the way it's set up right now, just to see where things are at. Just checking the radius of the fretboard. It looks like it's about a 12-inch radius, and that's what the string's on. I use these notch gauges to check the radius. And there's no light coming through at the 12. It definitely seems like there is some at the 10 and the 9.5. It's got about 10 thousandths of relief right now, which is a good relief. And the action down at 17th fret is good. I've got about 5.5 64ths on the bass C and about 5 or 4 64ths on the treble E. However, at the nut end, using the nut gauge, I'm finding that the height over the first fret with pretty much the strings right across is quite high. This is what I got. The bass E string was 32 thousandths. The A was 32 thousandths. The lowest one was the D at 25 thousandths. So even the B and the E, the treble strings were pretty high, 30 and 28 thousandths. So I want to take those down. I want to get the bass side down probably 25 thousandths, and then work my way down to about 10, maybe 15 thousandths at the E, and just take them down, taper each one down. So the first thing I'm going to do is take the nut down with the old strings that are on here, and I checked the size of the strings. They're 9s. He's got 9s on here, so I'm going to stick with 9s. I'm going to put some D'Addario 9s and 46 on the bass string. I'm going to put those on. But the first thing we'll do is take down the nut. Then I'll take the strings off. We'll just kind of check the I'll straighten the neck. We'll check the frets, make sure we don't have any high frets, and then I'll polish the frets up. Alright, so what I did is I taped off the nut here with some Draftsman's tape. And I'm going to start, as I said, I'm leaving the old strings on, and I'm just going to kind of work my way across the nut here. And basically just file each slat down until I get to a height that I'm happy with on my string height gauge. And as I say, I think we'll try and go 25 and shoot across till we get down to about 15 here. Maybe we'll go 25, 22, 20, something along those lines, and just kind of work it. Okay, I've been working at the nut. I got the E and the A done, and I used the 50 thousandths file for the E, and then I went down to my let's see, I think I used a 36 thousandths for the A, and right now these are both at about 20 thousandths. The D right now sits at about 25 thousandths, so I want to take that down a little bit. And the D string is a 26 thousandths string, and I've got a 26 thousandths file. So I'm just going to take it down a little bit. And just keep checking it often as I go, because you can take them down but you can't bring them back up. Okay, I'm on the last string, the E string, and just to show you how high these are, we've got the gauge set at 0. There's 10, 20, 30 thousandths. Oh, and actually if you push on both sides you go over 30 thousandths. So right now I'm at 20, 18, 2020, yeah, 18, 17, 16 on the B, so we'll get this down around 15, 14 or so. That's what I'm going to shoot for. It's about 17ths right now. We're getting really close. Just one more little swipe here. It's good enough. Alright, now that we got all the string heights above the first fret where we want them, what we've got to do is get this nut looking a little better, because right now, if you can see, these strings are sitting way down in the nut slot, and typically you want at least half the string exposed. So I'm going to file the top of the nut top and get the strings exposed a little bit more, so that they're not getting caught in the nut slot down here. Okay, took all the strings off, got them out of the way, and we're just going to take the top of this nut down some here. Okay, I got it where I'm pretty happy with it. The E, the A strings are definitely sitting above the nut. We get down to the D, it's just slightly above. I can just feel it. As you get to the G is sitting down in the nut a little bit, and then the B and the E are definitely down there. And I don't mind these treble strings being down further into the nut, because when you're bending down here, there's less likelihood of them popping out of the nut. So all in all, it looks pretty decent. Okay, took all the strings off, and now I straighten the neck, because without the string tension, the neck kind of bowed. So I tightened up the truss rod till I get 0 reading on the relief gauge here. I'm just going to give it a quick once over. We'll just kind of check for high frets. See, those feel good. I'm just going to go down the board and check everything, and then I'll tape it off and we'll start polishing up the frets. Alright, I'm going to tape off the fretboard and get it ready to polish these frets, but I did go down the board with this fret level checker. Everything is real good in front of the 12th fret, but when I get down to about the 12th fret down here, there's a couple that are slightly high. So I'm just going to real lightly with some 320 grit paper use a sanding block and just make sure that these frets down on this end of the board are level. And what that'll do, by concentrating down here too, I'll make sure that I got a little bit of fall away on the guitar, that these frets are going to be definitely lower than up here, and that way you're just a lot more assured that you won't get buzzing. Okay, that's pretty good. I'm just going to put a crown back on with a 300 grit diamond file, and then we'll start polishing them. These last 2 frets, it's about as far as I went. I didn't even touch these with that sanding block. There's one more here. This real lightly to get the crown back on. Okay, now I'm going to polish them up. What I'm going to use is some micro mesh polishing papers. I've got a set of micro mesh papers here with sponge holder. It's kind of foam, and it comes square, but I rounded the end off kind of in a wedge shape, and then I just kind of go up with the papers. And this one, I think, because I did some fret work here, we'll go through the whole set, starting with I think it's 1800. Nope, 1500. I'm going to start with 1500 and just kind of work my way up. I think I'll put just a little bit of tape on the end here first. Okay, here we go. Starting with the 1500 grit. Just kind of go up and down the fretboard, just kind of flaps across the frets. Just to polish these up. And I can feel it's grabbing more down here where I did the crowning. So make sure I polish these down at this end a little bit more. These haven't been touched. I just want to get these polished. Overall, this is a brand new guitar, so his frets are in pretty good shape. I mean, he's had it for a couple months, maybe he's been playing, but the frets are in great shape. So that's a 1500. Now I just go paper, I just follow the grits right up. All the way, we're going to go all the way to 12,000, which is really a fine paper. And then I will hand buff out the frets using some polishing compound. And that should make them really nice to play on, real nice and smooth. And then when I hit the 8,000, I'll actually go back and forth across each of the frets too. Just kind of polish them up real good. Take it right on down. That's as nice fret job as any custom Stratocaster coming from the factory. In fact, these look so good to me. I'm not going to even bother with the. With the rubbing compound. That 12,000 really brought these up great. All right, so we'll finish the setup here. Yeah, I changed my mind. If it was my guitar, I'd do it too. He's my brother. I was so mean to him when he was a kid. I owe it to him. I'm going to use fine polishing compound. I'm going to do each and every one of these frets by hand, and that's just going to put a super high gloss on these things. Pick it up. Wipe that off, but these things are just unbelievable. Even here was the 12,000, and here is with the fine compound. It's just amazing how much they shine, and that's basically elbow grease. I just got to go down on the board and do all the frets. Okay, that's pretty good. Now I want to clean his fretboard for him. And then condition it, and basically I'll use this, I get some of this Dunlop 65 oil for cleaning it, and I'll wipe that off, and then I put in I put a little bit of refined linseed oil on to protect the board, and you don't need to do that too often, maybe once or twice a year. So. If you don't have this and the fretboard's real dirty, you can use naphtha, which is just lighter fluid. It works real good and it doesn't hurt anything. Done. But see, that wood's really looks great, and the frets came out real nice. Okay, just wiped down the guitar, kind of cleaned it up here just with a clean rag, and I just used some distilled water. You don't have to polish them all the time. This is fairly new guitar, and I think he's already polished it. But the distilled water, it's amazing how much it will clean up. And then if you need more than that, you can use a more aggressive cleaner. Or if it hasn't been polished in a while, throw some polish on. But this cleaned it right up. Took the finger marks and all that off. Okay. Alright, I'm going to put new strings on for him. The setup was pretty decent as far as, like I say, the action and stuff. And the intonation was pretty good too when we were playing it the other night. I checked the intonation for him. So I'm hoping I don't have to do any of that because I'm putting the same size strings on. So we'll just put some new strings on here. Okay, in case you don't know how to put strings on a Stratocaster, I take the back plate off, and that's string slide right up through that. Yeah, the higher strings were being a little challenge. You give me a little challenge to take out, but I'm just using a toothpick and going in from the front side, just pushing the ball down. Okay, we got all the strings through. One thing I want to mention is usually when you put the strings on, you'll also set up the tremolo. However, my brother, he doesn't really use it that much. It was playing pretty decent the other night when I tried it out. Although I think these screws up front that hold the bridge are fairly tight. It's almost like it's blocked. I'm just going to leave it that way because he doesn't use it that much anyway. And actually I have to get this guitar back to him today before he leaves. They live out of town. So my main thing was I just wanted to make sure that the frets were polished and I got the nut where it was supposed to be. And he's, as I say, he's not big on using the tremolo anyway, so I'm just going to leave that alone. The way I'm going to put these strings on, he doesn't have the like the hole through center, like some of the other Stratocasters. I think they're the Clusen tuners. And he's got string trees on here. So I'm actually going to put these strings on similar to the way I put them on my acoustic guitar, which is the way Martin does it at the factory. I line up all the holes, you know, going in the same direction as the fretboard. Go through the hole into the headstock, back around under the string, and then I go back over the string and kind of lock it down. Okay, I got the strings on, tuned it up, and then I checked the relief, and it didn't have as much as it did when we started because I had tightened it up because of trying to get the neck straight. So I loosened it up. We got back to about 10,000ths relief. Action's the same, like about 5/64s, 4/64s down here. And the frets feel great now. They don't really hang up. Like as you're trying to slide, the frets aren't really hanging up on your fingers. And I'm not getting buzzing anywhere up the neck here. So hopefully you'll be happy with that. Just need to stretch these strings out and retune it again here a little bit. Okay, take care.